Cognitive interfaces. Chapter 2. Learning is Chanting. Having a phrase saved that helps us get out of a situation or simply makes us feel better, that is a mantra. Something that, when repeated, moves us from one algorithm, one frequency, to another. Learning is Chanting. The power of a phrase. The idea of learning is Chanting suggests that every deep learning is born from the repetition of a key idea. Just like a mantra, a phrase we repeat to ourselves can reprogram our way of thinking and feeling. It's no coincidence that we say we learn through repetition. From childhood, we incorporate habits, words, and beliefs by constantly repeating them until they mold our mental algorithm. A mantra, that brief and powerful phrase, acts as a line of code inserted into our thoughts. By reiterating it, it organizes our mind and changes our emotional frequency. In this reflection, we will explore how mental algorithms, thought patterns, and cognitive interfaces, mental filters that give shape to reality, are transformed by the mantras we adopt. We will integrate perspectives from psychology and personal development, from history and philosophy, from literature and mystical knowledge, to understand why learning is, at bottom, mantraing an inner truth until we manifest it in our reality. Mental algorithms and the repetition that reprograms. Our brain works with mental algorithms, thought routines that repeat day after day. These routines shape our attitude toward life. The good news is that we can rewrite that internal code. Just as a developer modifies a program, we can introduce new lines of thought through the conscious repetition of positive phrases. The science of psychology confirms that what we tell ourselves matters. Our recurrent words literally configure our neural connections thanks to brain plasticity. What you say describes your world. It also builds it, experts affirm, indicating that the words you repeat mold your way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Each habitual thought is like an automatic function of our mind. By repeating a new mantra, we are debugging negative thoughts and replacing them with more constructive beliefs. In the realm of personal development, various 20th century authors discovered the value of these self-programming phrases. For example, the technique of energetically repeating, "Do it now," dozens of times a day became popular as a self-starting mechanism to overcome procrastination. This simple action mantra was proposed as a way to break mental inertia and create a habit of proactivity. Many people found that by insisting on that phrase, they were rewiring their immediate response. They went from doubt to action almost by reflex. Similarly, other classic self-help mantras, for example, "Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better," have shown the power of repetition to instill optimism and motivation. In all these cases, learning, a new habit or attitude, is achieved by mantraing, deliberately repeating the power idea until it takes root in our subconscious. It should be noted that this repetition is not magical by itself. It works when the phrase resonates with genuine meaning for whoever practices it. Your brain listens and believes what you say, whether a hopeless "I can't" or a hopeful "I'm learning," and begins to build a reality coherent with those ideas. That's why learning to mantra implies choosing our internal words carefully. If we introduce into our mental algorithm the instruction, "I can also learn from this," instead of "this is a failure," the output will change. We will see opportunities where before there were obstacles, confidence where before there was fear. Repetition ultimately reorders our internal code until more useful thoughts execute by default. Cognitive interfaces, the filters through which we see the world. If mental algorithms are the code, cognitive interfaces are the screen through which we perceive reality. Each mind has its filters, beliefs, expectations, previous experiences that determine how we interpret the information we receive. Two people facing the same situation can see very different things depending on their mental interfaces. For example, faced with an unknown challenge, someone with a growth mindset will see a learning opportunity, while someone with a pessimistic filter will see a trap destined for error. This is where mantras and guiding phrases show another of their powers, fine-tuning our cognitive filters. A mantra functions as an adjustment in the configuration of our mental interface. By repeating, "I am progressing, I am learning," daily, we not only feel better, but we train our attention to notice evidence of progress and opportunities. The brain has a filter mechanism, sometimes cited as the reticular activating system, that favors what we focus on. If our mantra is, "I always find a solution," our interface will begin to highlight possible solutions in the environment, like when you learn a new word and suddenly see it everywhere. Conversely, if we maintain as an unconscious mantra, "Everything goes wrong for me," our perception will tend to select only evidence of failure, filtering out successes. This idea that external reality adjusts to the inner lens is not new. In fact, on a collective scale, it has been explored by historians like Yuval Noah Harari. Harari points out that many of the structures that shape the world, from money to nations, exist first in the human mind as shared ideas, and because we believe in them, they come to have very real effects. They are like great cultural mantras repeated by millions of people until they become truths that mold our coexistence. These shared myths function as collective cognitive interfaces. They order the chaos of experience into comprehensible narratives. Thus, for example, we all give value to a piece of paper currency because we collectively sustain the economic mantra that this paper is worth something. Our material reality is interwoven with those repeated beliefs. At a personal level, our individual myths, the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what the world is, operate the same way. If I constantly repeat, even subconsciously, "I am not enough," or "people are cruel," I am maintaining a verbal spell that configures my environment. I will behave according to that belief and select experiences that confirm it. That's why breaking those spells requires an intentional counterspell, a new mantra to replace the old one. This is the essence of many therapeutic and growth techniques, becoming aware of the script we have been repeating and writing a new one more in accord with the reality we long for. Mantras, mystical symbols, and inner manifestation. The practice of repeating words of power to transform inner reality doesn't belong only to modern psychology. It is present in multiple mystical traditions throughout history. In Hermetic philosophy, it is stated that the all is mind, the universe is mental. That is, all reality is first created as idea. This principle of mentalism goes hand in hand with the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. In other words, what happens in our inner world will be reflected in the outer world, and vice versa. The ancient sages saw thought and word as creative forces. A sacred mantra intoned in a temple was not just sound, but vibration with the capacity to resonate with a certain frequency of the universe. "In the beginning was the Word," states a mystical text, alluding to the fact that the Word, the primordial mantra, gave origin to reality. Eastern mantras, for example, Om or Sanskrit phrases, are considered vehicles for elevating consciousness to another frequency. By repeating Om in meditation, it is said we align the mind with the fundamental vibration of the cosmos. Similarly, in the Western Hermetic tradition, knowledge of words of power, secret names, alchemical formulas, was sought in order to influence oneself and the environment. Medieval alchemy, for its part, bequeathed us powerful symbols of transformation. Turning lead into gold was as much a chemical endeavor as a metaphor for the inner process. Lead represented heavy consciousness, inferior emotions, ignorance. Gold symbolized wisdom, illumination, the best version of oneself. And what was the philosopher's stone capable of achieving that transmutation? Largely, the inner fire of intention and word. The true alchemist operates in their own spirit, repeating their internal mantras of transformation until their work, opus, is fulfilled. Their inner lead becomes gold. Even everyday language reflects this connection between declaration and reality. When someone affirms, "I believed it and I achieved it," they are, perhaps unknowingly, describing the essence of a benign self-imposed spell. Our affirmations are decrees. "Today will be a good day," said every dawn, is a small, self-fulfilling prophecy, a mental program that orients our actions and perceptions toward confirming it. Esoteric traditions spoke of vibration. They maintained that by intoning certain sounds or words, one attunes to particular energies, love, courage, peace, of the universe. In contemporary psychology, we could translate this into terms of neural frequencies or emotional states. What's certain is that we feel a real change when we repeat a powerful mantra. even if it's simply, "I am calm," while breathing deeply. It's as if each cell heard that command and began to vibrate in accord with it. Weaving our destiny with words. Learning is mantring because all significant learning requires inscribing the lesson into our being through repetition with meaning. Let's imagine our mind as an immense labyrinth, a network of paths, some luminous, others shadowy, carved by years of recurrent thoughts. Each mantra we adopt is like a thread we unwind through that inner labyrinth. By repeating our guiding phrase again and again, we advance with that thread in hand, reorganizing mental passageways, changing old automatic courses. Little by little, that thread of words leads us out of vicious circles and helps us find new paths toward the exit, toward the light of a broader understanding. On that journey, ancestral symbols accompany us and take on new meaning. The serpent biting its tail, the Ouroboros, alchemical symbol of the cyclical and eternal renewal, shows us that end and beginning touch. Upon finishing a cycle of learning, after many repetitions, we are symbolically reborn, ready for a new beginning at a higher level. Each mantra we incorporate is another turn of that evolutionary spiral. The phoenix of myths, which burns and rises from its ashes, lives within us each time we manage to burn a negative pattern and rise again with a new and empowering belief. And the mirror, that object so present in tales and rituals, returns our gaze and asks us, "What inner reality are you projecting?" In the end, we understand that the world reflects our mantras. It is a mirror that shows us the face of our most repeated convictions. In this way, practical psychology, literature, and mystical wisdom converge in the same teaching. We are creators of our inner reality, and that inner reality molds the external one. If learning is mantring, then each of us has the power and the responsibility to choose our mantras with intention and love. In doing so, we become artisans of our mind, carving with word and thought the design of our life. Each phrase we decide to repeat is a chisel upon the marble of our psyche. May we choose our words well. May we intone our personal mantras with faith, and we will see how slowly, almost magically, our world changes frequency. Learning is mantring, sculpting the soul with the echo of a truth until that truth vibrates in everything we are and everything we do.